Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome back, students. So we are on online lecture for part 2 of the mobile application development course. Today we are going to study and talk about activities and intents. So with that, let us discuss the outline. So we are going to discuss what is an activity in mobile application development, especially if you are talking about the Android mobile phones. We are going to discuss explicit intents and implicit intents. So this is an overview of our app. So our app have two screens or two activities. So this is the main activity, whereas this is the second activity. When you click on this send button, we are going to the control will send to the second activity, and you will see the second activity on the screen. So this is possible because of explicit intents. We are going to discuss more about intents later on. And while you click this send button, you can enter some message, and that message will also be attached to your message or to your intent, and it will be displayed on the second activity. So this is another example of how this app will look like. And then this is the complete app, where this is your main activity. You type some message over here and you click the send button. The second activity appears. We use explicit intent to shift our control to the second activity, and then this message is displayed over here. And then you can type some text over here in the second activity and click replay. So that message will be displayed over here, replay message, and you will see that message over here. So this, we are going to go back to the main activity. All of this is possible because of explicit intent. So, but first, what is an activity? An activity represent a single screen in your app with which your user can perform a single focused task, such as taking a photo, sending an email, or viewing a map. An activity is usually presented to the user as a full screen window. An app usually consists of multiple screens or multiple activities that are loosely bound to each other. Each screen is an activity in Android mobile phone. Typically, one activity in an app is specified as the main activity, as the starting point of your app, which is also called main activity.java, which is presented to the user when the app is first launched. The main activity can then start other activities to perform different types of actions. So activity is a single screen. You can have multiple screen in your app. It depends on the nature on the functionality of your app. But mainly there is a starting activity or the starting screen called the main activity.java. So each time a new activity is started, the previous activity is stopped, but the system preserves the activity in a stack, also called the back stack. When a new activity starts, the new activity is pushed onto the back stack and takes user focus. The back stacks follow a basic last in, first out stack logic. So when the user is done with current activity and presses the back button, the activity is popped from the stack and destroyed, and the previous activity is resumed. So yes, the activities follows the basic last in first out stack logic. So the activity that is last in to the stack will be first out of the stack. So each time a new activity is start, the previous activity is stopped and it goes into the stack. But the system preserves the activity in the stack called the back stack. When the new activity start, the new activity is pushed on to the back stack and takes user focus. The back stack follows basic last in and first out stack logic. When the user is done with the current activity and presses the back button, the activity is popped from the stack and destroyed, and the previous activity is resumed. So this is how different activities have different states and how they follow the basic last in first out operation. So an activity is started or activated with an intent. So intents are the backbone of your mobile application development course. So they are used very commonly and widely, and you will see them in almost in every app. An intent is an asynchronous message that you can use in your activity to request an action from another activity or from another app component. You use an intent to start one activity from another activity and to pass data between activities. So you can also start one activity from other activity and you can pass data between those activities, or you can start another component of another app. So intent can be explicit or implicit. So an explicit intent that we are going to see in this app is one in which you know the target of the intent. So what is the target activity? You already know about it. That is, you already know the fully qualified name class of the specific activity. Whereas in implicit intent, you do not know about the exact name of your activity. An implicit intent is one in which you do not have the name of target component, but you have a general action to perform, like you want to send an email, you want to open a text in a browser. So there can be many browsers, there can be many email apps, or there can be many options available to you when you are performing some type of action. So at that in that scenario, you can use implicit and intents to give you some choice out of which you can select one particular choice. So we are going to discuss about we will discuss about implicit and explicit intents in more detail, but for now we are just going to focus on the explicit intent. I'm going to create a new project, and the name we are going to select empty activity, and let me give it a name explicit intents. Okay, the location is okay. So I'm going to click the finish button, and the Gradle will start creating different files for us, managing, synchronizing those files. And once it is done, we will be able to create our own app. Okay, so the Gradle has finished its job. I'll go to the res folder, to the layout, to the activity underscore main. There you can see our default screen. I want some space, so that is why I'm going to minimize these windows. So let us get rid of this hello world text view because we don't need them. Okay, so first we need a button at the bottom. So you can click on the button, drag it, and you can place it here. Yeah, that's fine. So we have a button. Yeah. So let me give it an ID. So it's the button in the main activity main. So it is because we are using constrained layout, remember, so we have to constrain it to the parent view. So let me constrain it to the left. Yeah, and to the bottom. Now it is somehow fixed, like it will not give us any unusual behavior. So you can see over in that window that it is constrained to the left, to the bottom, and this is the distance, having 28 dp or whatever. And then we can use an edit text over here. So let me select the text, and I am going to select the edit text option. So I can write here edit text. Yeah, it's a plain text. So click and drag it over here. That's fine. We can constrain it to the left, to the right, to the left, to the bottom. increase or decrease its size. Okay, so this edit text has an ID of, okay, the name is, like, the text is enter your message here, whereas we can give it an ID of edit text underscore name. Yeah, that's looking fine. Enter your message over here. I think we are running out of time, so I'll stop here. We are going to continue this app in the next class or in the next lecture. I'll see you. So till then, take care and Allah Hafiz.